In question 20, we're asked to solve. Now the difference between this question and the previous questions is that here, this number out in front of the x squared is not 1. So it's not just x squared by itself, which is 1x squared, but instead there's a number in front of it, a 2. So here's what we need to remember about factoring when we have a number out in front. That these two numbers are going to multiply and get this term here. So we have to think, what are two numbers that multiply to get to 2? Well, 2 times 1 is 2. And if I want it to be 2x squared, then I need to multiply x times x. So this is going to be 2x here and x here. Okay. The next thing is that we need to remember is that these two numbers are going to multiply to this. So what are some numbers that multiply to 10? 10 times 1 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10. So those are my options. So let's say I start and I put a 2 here and a 5 here. Okay. Now, I am choosing to put those numbers there, and we're going to see if they work out. And here's how we're going to see. I'm going to first multiply 2x times x, that's 2x squared. Then I'm going to do 2x times 5, that's 10x. Then I'm going to do 2 times x, that's 2x. And 2 times 5, that's 10. Now, when I combine my like terms here, I end up with 12x. Now, that's a problem, though, because I don't want it to be 12x. I want it to be 9x, right? So notice, this is good. The 2x squared, perfect. It's right here. And the 10 is good. It's right here, okay? But somehow this part didn't end up being correct. So what can we do? Well, what we can do is we can take these two numbers in green, and I'm going to start by switching them. I'm going to make it 5 and 2. And if that still doesn't work, then I'll try a different pair, like 10 and 1. So let's try this out. Okay, now, I still have, notice I didn't erase the 2x squared and the 10, because that is still, right, 2x times x is 2x squared, and 5 times 2 is still 10. So that actually isn't changing. But here is what's different. 2x times 2 is 4x, and 5 times x is 5x. And does this add to 9? Yeah, it does. So here's what that tells me. That tells me that this, here, let me use a different color. That tells me that this is correct. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw that equals 0 back on. And then I can say, you know what? Now I have these two things right here. What's here was just me checking it, right? Like this part was just me saying, okay, did I do it right? And now that I've decided, yes, I did, now I notice that this times this equals 0. So what does that tell me? Well, that tells me that either that 2x plus 5 must equal 0, or that x plus 2 must equal 0. So now I can solve these. I get x equals -2. Or notice here, this is a 2x equals -5. I still need to divide by 2 to get x by itself. And -5 divided by 2 is -2.5. So what I would put in Edgelastic here is x equals, okay, -2.5 is smaller, and then -2.